This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market chat. Monday, October 30th, 2023, the day before Halloween. Are things going to get spooky? Is it going to be a spooky Monday? Well, let's keep an eye on it. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts. So just let me get one mic check, 1 2 1 2, and we'll be good to go. I appreciate everybody. Hopefully you had an amazing weekend. If you took profits on shorts on Friday, as we talked about, going to FOMC week, then you're kind of doing the things right, in my opinion. Kind of doing it right. So just going to get one mic check, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll start blabbing. Start running my mouth. I hear you. Cool. Thanks, Shannon. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. So we talked about, a lot of things going on. And, as we get down into the lows, we hit some of the zones that we talked about. Are you surprised there's a bounce? Now, again, the more aggressive the bounce, the more likely, in my opinion, it gets aggressively sold at some point. So think about what's happening here, right? You have bear market tendencies, which you have quick straight line rallies that get sold in time. So just be careful. Again, you got the FOMC. I mean, we know they're going to pause. It's 100%. You have some earnings coming up. You have big earnings this week. So, if you're taking on positions and you're expecting huge moves all the time, we'll see. I mean, the VIX is, still in the 20 range, up and down, right, as we talk about. So I would just, keep an eye on things. It's easier said than done. I know. Trust me. You wish everything would be hit this, fail, go here, go there. It's just not. It's a probability game. And so the more something rises that you want to short, the better obviously a short is. Just like, when you're looking at certain things that are at lows, coming off the lows, you want to try to get them as low as possible. So at this point going forward, I mean, again, I would just kind of be cautious, give yourself time, capital, space to do whatever you need to do. So on that note, sorry, getting hit up. Just keep an eye. Let's just get into it. Because right now, again, like Amazon, talking about that. Check that out. Again, if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Check out the website. It's well worth it. Links, you know what to do. Also follow on the Twitter. I'm telling you, well worth it. Posting the trades that we're looking at this morning. So as we said, Fed Watch Tool, I mean, a little bit of an odds of a cut. I wouldn't, again, anything over 60, like 3.5% or something, is a lock. They've never not done something. So Bitcoin, everybody's really bullish Bitcoin, which is interesting to me because it's like, it's kind of like everyone flopping into gold. But then you start looking, it's like, oil hasn't refreshed. Like, oil was the crowded safety trade, right? All right, well, let's see what happens here. If it breaks 82, this could get fugly, right? Natural gas, right? We'll see what happens here. We'll see. So just keep it simple, stupid. So let's get into some of these other trades. And if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt. I hope people, again, have their mind on what the best trades are. Because, again, I keep having this conversation and I'm like confused talking to people. And they're like, oh, I think I need to do this and this. And it's like, man, if I was you, I would just keep it simple, stupid. Right? Keep the big tech on your radar. I think those are the easiest trades. Obviously, there's some other good trades out there, no doubt. Right? But, if it's got earnings, got to leave it alone. Oil and gas names, be careful, trade around them. I just think at some point you're going to see the market use megatech as the ATM it is to cash out. So on that note, let's get into some charts. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Look at Amazon. I said watch the channel, watch the 50, 100-day potential cross. Look at this wick. Look at this wick. Then you go look at the hourly. You're like, man, that's probably toast. That's probably toast. Like, this is the fake breakout that comes back down. Remember, we talk about breaking out to trap people, to get everybody to go all in to do what they need. Meaning, bring them in. Now, again, if the market holds up, could this hold up? Could this be like multi-day of holding up here? That's always possible. You have to, again, time is the key that you think you control. But I've seen this. Traps hold over prices for days. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like ripping. But what if it just chops up here for a day or two? It's always possible, right? Good old Apple has earnings coming up on Thursday. Hits the 200-day, hits the 8-day. Kind of test this gap. Okay. How much more? I mean, does it have to go up to the channel? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have like these assumptions of like, this is what has to happen. Good old CRM. You know, I know some people eyeing this one. It makes sense to me. I mean, I think at some point it does break. But it's, you know, it's your choice on where your capital goes. That's how I think about it. Guggenheim, we talked about getting slaughtered, probably due to bounce at some point. Man, it'd be really nice to get to 130, but maybe it just fills the gap at 126s. I mean, again, it's tough to know. Good old Meta just goes nuts, right? Hits 309. I don't know why. Why that price? Don't know. Microsoft, we talked about 335 plus area, right? I mean, you got a bunch of resistance up here. Okay, we'll see how long this lasts, right? MicroStrategy, again, I'm just rolling through tech because I think it's interesting. Yeah, here you go. Watch the zone up here. Netflix, again, right before I flipped this on, this thing went bonkers again. I don't know why. I mean, does it have to get up to the channel high? That would be sad and frustrating for shorts. But I mean, if you pull up the hourly, you can kind of see what it looks like. Just a complex head and shoulders. All right. So, I mean, 410 maybe max. Maybe. I don't know. Just keep an eye on it. It's tough to know for sure. It's tough to know for sure. Good old Roblox. I mean, again, I'm just wrapping through this. We've talked about it. Maybe if not even worth. Tesla. People were like, oh, if it hits the 200-day, I'll short it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if you want to short something chasing it down already. Not to say that you can't keep shorting it. That's not. Don't confuse me on that. It's just, is it the best opportunity with your capital at the moment to add? I would probably argue no. If they've got delivery numbers coming out for the week or for the month coming up, who the hell knows? And again, I don't think that's going to matter. But I'd rather short things that are popping so I have room down, because again, I don't know if all these names are going to flop with it. I mean, again, they can, but I can see very simply, like I've seen before, when the leaders get ejected, they get ejected. And what I mean by like that is like, hey, it's over, right? And so it can just be like straight down, like Tesla has. Now, again, has Tesla got more room to run in time? No one's going to argue that, right? The good SMH, we've talked about this, channel low, 200-day, probably going to get into these 130 levels at some point. But if it chops around here at the channel, are you going to be surprised? I mean, no. Intel, intellectual property, said any bounce is probably worth shorting. There you go. Watch that. Good old NVIDIA. Man, 422 got up there. It just looks busted. AMD, like, man, this thing is all over the place. Makes a new low, chops back to the highs. Micron, same thing, just all over the place. It's tough to know near term. I mean, that's the thing that you have to keep in your mind. FedEx, here you go. Here we go, right? Coming into the 200-day, there you go. That's what you want to see. That is what you want to see. I mean, I have that right there, 235 area, right? Like the 8-day. I mean, because it seems to have hit it a couple times, but also can short arm it. So, I mean, again, like put that on your radar. Caterpillar has earnings, right? So I think I would be careful. I have no clue. I mean, it's oversold in a straight line, 275 down, $35, but doesn't necessarily mean can't go lower on earnings. No. But if you want to take it off the plate and not have to worry about it, I would probably do that. Good old Costco, Cost Magic. I mean, watch the 100-day. Watch the 100-day. It's real simple. You know, we talked about some of these ag names maybe due to bounce. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm looking at the market going, there ain't much juice left in it if this is what the day is like. JP Morgan, again, oversold. If you took a little profit. Again, it's hard to reshort here. It's really hard to reshort just on this little bounce, but give it a couple days, see what happens. Again, maybe it crashes. I don't know. Scott, yeah, exactly. Oil is getting smoked, right? Like, why is oil getting crushed? You know, why is gold coming down, right? Like, people are like, oh, let's just rotate out of these. And it's like, maybe it's profit taking to end the month. But I still don't think the feds have pivoted yet. I keep trying to warn people that. So be careful, because it could be just this was a bounce to bounce, right? A bounce to bounce, if that makes sense. IYT at the high of the day, which is interesting. Like because I guess people are liking oil, so transports are getting bought, a little oversold. And as we talked about, like you have to be aware that there's gonna be certain names that do better and certain names that don't. Because especially at the VIX in this level, it's kind of a stock picker's market. It's gonna go up, market's gonna go up, market's gonna go down. Some names are gonna go down more than others, and that's where I think again everybody who's hiding in tech is going to seem to be getting a rude awakening because they all get blasted after earnings, have they not? Except Microsoft, but then it gives it all right back, right? Netflix holding up, got to give it credit. Again, we talked about maybe 410. XOP, if you got that drip, looking okay. So if you have any questions, again, what's up? Let me know how I can help you. Yeah, this week is not, I mean, this is interesting because again, did you expect the market to get up, Qs to be up 1-2%, right? I mean, IWM's lagging as usual. But, I mean, to say, and this is the thing, I was like, man, if we get to the 355, that'd be great. But then I was watching, I'm like, well, we just filled the gap and we just hitting the little channel lows. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to know if they sell this off to end the month. I'd be genuinely curious because it's, Monday and then it's Tuesday and then you got the jobs number and you got the feds. Like, again, the month has already been pretty, mediocre at best. Do they come and sell it to the close? The month, Monday, Tuesdays. And so maybe then the market rallies Wednesday, Thursday into Apple. I don't know. Again, we have to just assume that we don't know and play it by ear because this is where it gets really hard because if you anticipated down today, which again, we talked about being oversold. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a rally. Well, could this be the rally? Could it be all one day? I don't know. But it's always got to be a possibility. And here's the thing where I'm going to stress this enough. I can't stress it. Trade around your positions. Have your core. Do what you got to do. But just don't sit here and go, I'm going to hold endlessly. Because there's going to be a lot of trading opportunity. I mean, look at some of these names. Moving $3, $4, $5, $6, $10 at a time. And if you're just sitting there completely holding on the whole time, it's going to piss you off. And it's going to get you to do things you probably don't want to do. I want to see if there's any questions. Does that make sense? Any questions about this? Because again, I think that's the benefit of trading around your positions. It gives you opportunity to leverage around a trend. And if things happen that you don't expect, well, then you're not sitting here crying about it going, well, shoot, I didn't take any profits Friday. Why not? I mean, the more you're up, the less you own. I hope that helps. Again, trying to keep it simple, not trying to be mean or I don't know what the best way to describe it, like trying to be critical. Is just that's what you got to do at some point. Market's meant to be traded, not to be held. And if it is held, you better not look at it because that's what they want you to do. They'll say, oh, hold it 20 years, you'll be fine. Well, the purpose of this channel is not to come on and say, hold forever. Get on in here and hold. No, because then it wouldn't be a video. Yeah, I'm not surprised another commercial real estate and realty group is getting crushed. I mean, things that aren't bullish, right? It's a good one, Scott. I saw that earlier. I just didn't look at it really much today. No, I imagine Japan is just trying to control. Yeah, they're trying to control the yield curve. We know how that works out. Good luck with them apples. Again, I don't really have like a really thought on it. It's just I know with the BOJ yield control will. I mean, again, they'll throw money at it. We'll see if it matters. I mean, dollar up, down. I mean, interesting. Wow, damn, Frank in Nevada. Man, that's a big move in this gold name. Yeah, and I was warning people. Yeah, and this is the thing. I mean, I don't know. There's people maybe new to the channel and follow them. Like, they sit here and they just argue, like, buy dividend stocks. Just keep buying dividend stocks. And I'm like, you clearly have not seen a bear market before because those dividend yields get juicier and juicier, and then the stock goes lower and lower and lower, and then they cut the dividend, and now you're left with a stock that's down a ton with a much smaller dividend, potentially. Again, dividend chasing right now? No. I mean, but that's the thing I keep reading. This is how we know we're not at the end of a bear market. I mean, I've got followers and people that are just like endlessly like, buy for dividends, buy for dividends. The yield 6.5%. I mean, here, look at this. It's like endlessly. Buy at 6.5%. It's like, well, what happens if the earnings get cut? Buckle in, people. Zero going lower and lower. Yeah, your dividend potential just got smoked. Right? Probability of a recession. I mean, everybody and their mom saying it's time to buy this for the dividend. And it's like, that's not how you bottom. I've never seen a stock bottom. Everyone's screaming, buy it for the dividend. Yeah, there's a lot of idiots that are buying AT&T thinking it's a great yield. It's like, okay. Yikes. You bought $100 of, oh, cool. Do they not understand that the dividend yield is not safe? Clearly not. I mean, it's like the biggest thing going on. I mean, everybody I'm talking to is like, that is not how you bottom. Oh my God, I didn't even see this guy killed this guy. Don't even want to talk about it. Yeah. It's not good. Yeah, higher again. And I don't know how to explain this. Be careful. Just be careful. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, stop telling people what to do. I'm telling you, do not tell people to go out there and rush and buy dividend yielding stocks. I'm telling you right now, wrong. You got to know their balance sheet. You got to know their business. Now, maybe if it's like a oil and gas name with a monster dividend, as long as it's like a safe company, but even price of oil will come down. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what to tell people other than you're your own worst enemy if you're just following the herd with the ignorance of the herd and the ignorance of everybody out there screaming, bottom. You don't bottom when everyone's happy. You know when people you should buy O or any of these companies? When nobody wants them. After they cut their dividend. And the stock's cut probably another 30 or 40%. Because that's the time, right? That'll be the sell, buy the rumor. It'll be sell the rumor, buy the news. It'll be the, we're cutting dividend. It's not sustainable. That's when things tend to bottom. But if you don't believe me, go right ahead. Fish, go fishing. See what happens. You might be holding a bag for years because you said, well, at the time I bought it, it had a 6.5% dividend yield, but I'm still down 70% on the company. How cool is that? Well, it's going to take you how many years to get that back in dividends? At least 7-8 years, maybe 10. Was that worth it? No, absolutely not. Some people get mad when you tell them about dividends. It's like, who sold you on this stuff? My broker. You're broker. Gotcha. Okay, well. Yeah, 99% of the time, he's right buying dividends. Yeah, 99% of the time, it's right. And then when it's wrong, it's wrong. Yeah, Tesla battery issues. Right? I mean, again, how many times have I said I like Flex LNG? Love it. But if the economy slows and all of a sudden you have less natural gas demand coming up because of slowing economy, I don't know what price this could get to. And their dividend could be pretty safe. But do I want to buy it now? Nope. I do not. I don't. Does it make sense? Clears day, clears mud, clears water, whatever. Dirt water. Makes sense. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Because again, I think people have like in their mind, like every day, the market's going to do exactly what you hope it is. And again, we were pretty good at spotting out things. Am I surprised it's bouncing today? No, not at all. We talked about that on Friday. Don't be surprised. This aggressively, yes, I am surprised, but also kind of excited about it, because then it's like, could they just unload this stuff the rest of the week? Because again, I mean, think about the higher the prices, the more juicy it is to sell. Just like the lower the prices, the more juicy it is to buy. Right? Like do your science, your reconnaissance on this, right? Like you see Meta pop, 15 points or whatever, like it's going to bring in sellers. And then once it looks like it can't make a new high, people are going to be going, oh, shit. Oh, shit. I bought it. What do I do now? I bought it at the high. I bought it on Monday when the market was up. I thought I was making a good move, Bobby. I bought some Apple at the 200-day. What's going to happen? Everybody knows they're going to miss their numbers.
Oh, Bobby, I don't know. Why don't you just buy some Netflix and disappear?
No, you can't do that. Now, I've been told people like the voices, so I'm going to do more of them. But,
hey, man, let's just keep buying this. Let's just keep buying this stuff, man.
We'll see what happens. Now, again, maybe it could rally for the end of the month. And new money coming in. I don't know. Or shorts being covered because it's a squeeze in the sense of like, all right, shorts had a good month. Hey, bro. So, I don't know what to tell people. I don't know what to tell you. Near term, I like the pops this short. Will it drop today, this afternoon? That would be a gift. I would be very thankful, and I would trade around it. I would absolutely trade around it if it did. Come on, Netflix, watching the hour. I would absolutely trade around it. It'd be a gift from the gods. Do it. Just do it. Like Arnold. Arnold showed up to our trading video today. He wants to talk about shorting stocks. Just do it. We'll see what happens here. West Virginia. You sound like from... I can get West... Yeah, I guess. Rocket Mountain High. No, it's at West Virginia. What's this West Virginia song? Whatever. But y'all know what I'm saying here. Like, would you be surprised if this onion peels back? Sky gap down Tuesday on dividend payout. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is ex-div, isn't it? To end the month, not quarter. I'm like, what? Yeah, I mean, it probably will gap down, but maybe that's what thing is. People were buying the SPY today to collect that dividend. Let's collect that dividend, boy. Come on. Got to get that $1.58. And then the SPY will drop $5. Well worth it. Well worth it, boy. Get you that dividend, huh? Buy you classic. Got to get that dividend. I got my $1.58. Oh, shit. Now it's back at 404. What do I do now? Blah. Now, again, I'm not surprised if we chop around here, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, I'm under the full conviction of no X was a while back. Payout date. Oh, the payout date. That's right. The payout is usually options expiration of the quarterlies. So it would be the September paying out today. Thank you. Yeah, but you only had to be a record of that day, so it doesn't matter whether you hold it now. It's a bonus. You could have sold it between now and then. So you're going to get your payday. Okay. Well, it'll correct down at $1.58. They'll pull it out of it. That's true. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's really much to say at this point. Like these Qs, and again, that's why I like the Qs. Like SPYs and IWM, okay. But do you guys remember the .com bubble burst? There'd be days where the market would be chopping and up, but the Qs would just be down, 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 like every day. Kind of like watching Tesla. You're going, well, hey, Bobby, the market's up pretty good, but man, those tech stocks, they sure do suck ass. Yeah. That's kind of why I'm holding on to. Yes, you remember that, Eric, very clearly. Well, that's like the Dow's up 100 points today, but the NASDAQ closed down 0.78%, led by intellectual property. Well, just change the headline. The markets were flat to up today, with the NASDAQ led down by Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Tesla, you name it. Tech. Yep, NASDAQ was down 82% from top to bottom. That is correct. Yeah, it sounds like the semis. Yes, it was not crazy, but I remember seeing it and like not understanding the market as well, being newer to finance in the sense of like being in the industry. And I'm like, people are like, why is tech down every day? And they're like, oh, because it has no future now. It's the dot-com bubbles burst. You don't want tech. And it's like, well, what are we buying? Oh, we're buying housing stocks. We're buying financial stocks. We're buying materials. Oh, okay. But not tech anymore. Nope. eBay, nope. Intel, nope. Cisco, nope. All these names. Nope. Don't buy those. Those are, no. But aren't they the future? Tech's the future. Tech was the future. Hold on. Time out. That's my exact stupid thinking that people think now.
Tech is the future. Hey, Bobby. Tech's the future. You gotta buy it. Always. You gotta always buy tech, bud. Okay.
It's like, are you... Oh. Okay, we're gonna go all in tech, are we? All the time. And it's like, then materials went to the absolute monster big bull market, then followed by another tech bull market. And then what's coming next? Commodities. Shh. Where do you think all this money in tech, all these hundreds of billions of dollars of equity capital is gonna flow into? Where the beer flows like wine and the women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. They're going to Aspen commodities. No. So that's what's up. Hopefully that makes sense. It's all a money game. Like, it swirls around sectors. It's like what'll have fundamental longer term with higher interest rates. Remember, higher interest rates are actually inflationary. People forget about that. And lower rates are kind of deflationary, right? Lower cost to borrow, right? You can build more supply, lower prices, more supply, cutthroat. Well, now you have higher prices. And then you have what? Higher interest rates. Well, now the cost of doing business goes up and you have to pass that on. And that cost keeps going passed on and on and on and on. And so at a certain point, I don't know what the true equilibrium would be, but higher interest rates are inflationary. We've said this for a while. Like, that's why I keep telling people, like, watch when gold flies. It's going to be flying when interest rates are higher, not lower. We've talked about that for years. Seems like forever ago, Bobby. But again, I'm not saying like go short gold, but or silver, but I'm like, I don't think it's the right time. Oh, is Nvidia gonna go red, please? Por favor. So like, I mean, I don't know. Do we have capacity to really show silver on the monthly? Well, you want to, like, the best time to buy this is when the feds are cutting from higher interest rates to lower interest rates. Remember, because you're going from like inflationary to deflationary. And then they start pumping liquidity. And these are all liquidity proxies. And it's like, well, they're doing QT, aren't they? Well, here it comes down. I mean, as fast as they literally can. And it's actually impressive that silver is not at 17 yet. Maybe it gets there, but we'll see. I mean, again, the miners. It's like, something's not right here. Oh, sorry, that's the monthly. Like, do you really want to buy this stuff? Look, Dan, it bounced. Yeah, but look, gold is up here. Miners are way the freak down here. Something doesn't make sense. So, again, I could do voices and be silly, but, I mean, Apple, yeah, Flopadopoulos. Come on, Amazon, give it up. Meta, kind of giving it up. Got to get back under 300. Netflix, try to pop up to that like 410 level. We showed the shoulder line on the hourly. Tesla, again, Panasonic battery delivery showing you, doesn't work. Not working. 200 day for Tesla, probably maybe after their news. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing right now. Like, think about it. If you had a name that was down, like Tesla, and you're concerned about what's going on, I'm pretty sure you should be rolling some of that profitos into some of these other names that could just follow at some point, right? Now, again, how far and how fast Tesla will bounce or drop? Good question. I mean, let's see if we can find it. Where is Tesla's next support? Yeah, I mean, it's in this area. I mean, you got a big vapor dapper. I mean, could it get to 170? Maybe. How it could make sense. Points, not 170, but like the 170s. Makes sense. Pick and choose your battles. I just know option players, be prepared for extremely high premiums when you can get cheap options in other tech stocks. Be careful. Ten cuidado. Ten cuidado, mi amigo. Let's look at JPMO. I mean, it's just like, man, like, okay, well, we talked about it hitting the fib down here. It's like, please take a little profit at 135. Okay. I mean, I don't know how high. These are tough. They're absolutely tough. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly where this is going to drop because I just think it'll probably stay inside this red candle. I would be rather mind-boggled if it filled the gap because it's just like there's just too much momentum down. Jamie Dimon selling his stock, right? I don't know. Your guess is good as mine. Oh gosh, Ford sending me EVs. Ads. Yikes. Ford is cooked. Yeah, I mean they're absolutely cooked. Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, we've been doing this for 31 minutes. I can go on for another 31 minutes. Don't do it. Sorry, getting tested. Silence is golden sometimes. I always tell people. Silence is golden. At this point, nothing much to say. Maybe have missed this earlier, but any thoughts on semis? Chili's is overrated. Yeah, that's always a conversation that never ends. Yeah, we talked about it, Holly. You may have missed that. Watching the 200 day, thinking this gap 130s is probably on deck if we break out of the channel. So it's not too bad. Thoughts look good. Things I had some good short out. Yeah, Eric, you got it. Definitely had some good ones. Now again, like, will they pay today? That's the question. Like, that's the $1 million holla question, right? Is it gonna pay today? Come on, why? Oh, don't do this. Yeah, of course, Holly, no problem. Q charts or e-signal. Why are you doing this to me? Who froze my? I got frozen out like a Chili's margarita. Oh, there we go. Whew. Brain freeze. They don't have to pay today. Exactly. Aspen. Again, I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. You guys are awesome. Yeah, ask questions, reach out. I think it becomes very clear and obvious in time, like whatever the feds say, don't matter. They're pausing because they're starting to go, oh, crap. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens today. Because again, remember, it's the end of the month. Ask yourself a question. And again, I think it's 50-50, but it probably goes this way. Markets get totaled into the close because people go, whoa. I'm not trying to show I own this crap for October. Or they try to like hold it up and it chops around until FOMC day. It seems pretty binary and simple, but that's it. What's up, P-Bird? What up? What up? ¿Qué pasa, mi amigo? Any more thoughts, questions, concerns? Man, I don't know. Do I even want to like sit around and watch the rest of the day? And raise your hand if you're thinking in your mind like there's nothing really to do. Yeah, on semi we talked about not that in here, but saw that on got owned. What is on? Is it ON? I'm trying to remember. It's got to be right. ON, or it's like ONS or some shit. No, there it is. Oops. You got ANET after the close. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym too, man. See you later, Scott. Oh, not. Peloton in. ANET is after the close. Curious to see how this doo-doo pie plays out. Nah, I mean, again, all these companies, whatever. I mean, I'm just curious, what is this trading at? Peace. Enjoy a margarita at Chili's. Bloomin' Onion at Outback. Victoria Filet. Come on down to the Outback, mate. Do another shrimp on the barbie. Let's go to the Outback. The Outback right now is shorting blooming onions all day. Find your best short. It's like, or maybe it was like the Crocodile Dundee voice. Like, hey, mate, I'm Mick. Yeah, ANET pops. I think it's a flop too. Remember Mick from Crocodile Dundee? You call that a knife? You call that a bull stock? Man, those movies, every movie's, I don't know, there's some classics, some goofball movies I like. You call that a knife, mate? He pulls out that freaking 12-inch or 14-inch blade. He's like, bro, you ain't got a knife. Guy pulls out a little baby switchblade. I think he was in New York City or Chicago. They always like had him in like the most awkward places. Australians rioted for racism. They said, you can't perpetuate Australian racism that everyone lives in the bayou or whatever hunts crocs. There was a major outpouring from Australians screaming sort of racism. Sorry, I'm just making that up. Too much? Sorry, my bad. Oh, I'm seeing some. I see some fresh red for the day. Oxy. Oh no, break. Almost as good as Andrew. Would you bring a knife to a gunfight? Yeah. Hickory dickory dock. The boop was boopity pop. The clock struck 2. I shot my goo and then I got the hell out or whatever. Yeah, I know his voice. I can do his voice too. I'm trying to think if there are any other ones. Yeah, what you got? What you bringing? A gun to a knife fight? Come on, man. All right, Microsoft, come on. Get under. Man, Micron low of the day. I mean, I'm hoping to see Microsoft under 330 today. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't complain. I'd like to see Netflix back around 402, 403. Right? Like, just, again, fine, whatever. Hold over the 50 day. I don't care. Just get back down. I like to see Apple. Honestly, I think Apple at some point needs to get down to this channel low. And popping to the 200 day might not be the gift that people think it is. We'll see. Could be absolutely wrong here. Man, Tesla's getting cooked. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, remember we said leave X alone? Hopefully you did. You didn't short it. Again, some people just, I mean, this is the thing I tell people. You got to be careful dancing around trade to trade to trade to trade to trade. You can't be the master of everything. You're a mile wide and an inch deep of insights. And it's like, well, if you know the levels on a particular stock, mean, you don't have to trade 100 stocks. I always tell this to people. This is like the biggest thing that people do wrong all the time is they got 50 stocks they're watching, and they're trying to know where and when and what's the best for all of them. And then next thing you know, they have no capital because it's spread so thin. They got 100 shares of 12 stocks, and they don't know when to do, when to move on, and when to act on, and when to do things. And they sit there and they go, well, I'll just hold them all. And next thing you know, you're trading. I mean, again, I'm not going to pick on any particular names, but I know a lot of people like if you're in ANF, stick in it. If it's doing you well, stay in it, right? Do it. If you're in Tesla, okay, well, stick to it if you have to, But if it's one of those things where now it's like, well, if you gave me the option here of shorting more Tesla or shorting some of these other tech names, I'd be going, all right, well, I should probably take some profits down, $10 going into the month. We know they're probably going to fake their numbers and talk about Cybertrucks, but who knows? But man, there's some juicy ass names up here. But also, again, trade around your core, hold it, whatever you got to do. Right? Like this is the thing, like if I had, like this is what I've been doing constantly and like rotating in the tech names, just rotating around. Like if Google's down a ton, well, I'm not going to stay short it. There's probably other ones. Yeah, I do this part-time. I can't focus too many at once. The actual number I can focus on is fairly small. No, I agree, Eric. And that's the thing, like even if you're not full-time and you are full-time, it doesn't matter. Like you can only know so many stocks so well and watch so many names. I have 8 monitors here. How many do you have? And I still think it's hard. If you have 2 or 3 monitors, I can imagine the struggle it is to watch more than 1 or 2 stocks fairly well, right? Can we contend such? Contenders, the number 1 contenders? Like, does that make sense, y'all? Like, you got to be really careful. Ten cuidado. I mean, it's almost like sitting here and it's pretend like this is Livermore. You and I are Jesse Livermore, Eric, because you've probably read the book about as many times as I have. He would be what? Sticking to the best trades. And he would say, well, tech is going to go up some days, and then tech's going to go down more days than not coming up. Well, I'm going to trade around my positions, but I'm just going to stick to these tech names because I think they have the most capital to be withdrawn from. Well, we were like, well, this is where they're hiding. I would argue people were hiding in other places, actually. It's called oil, probably gold. I mean, the dollar, clearly not bonds. But again, who has the biggest pain from higher interest rates? Tech stocks. Oh, hello, Moto. You know what I'm saying? Catch my drift? Yeah, he'd be sitting, oh my God. He'd be so heavy short tech right now. Absolutely. That would be the obvious trade. Just so obvious. And again, I mean, if you want to pick and choose, like, again, that's why I have like Caterpillar and FedEx and Costco. I mean, those stocks move points. They move very many big points. Like, they can move 10 points in like an hour. So I got on those. I mean, you got watching those. I mean, my roster is very narrow right now. Here, I'll give you my roster. It's obviously SMH and like Soxus. It's obviously SQQ and QQQQ. It's Apple, JP Morgan, Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft, Intel, FedEx, Caterpillar, JP Morgan, Costco. I've got Meta, Google, Adobe, Tesla, Nucor, XLF, and Airbnb on the side roster. Like watching those as well, but not as intently. Probably should have jumped in some Meta this morning, but you know what? Hindsight's 2020. Hindsight is 2020. It's okay. It's okay. I'll survive. I'm not gonna cry because I know if Meta's going down, it's screaming timber. But other names at some point, right? So, all right. If anyone has no more questions, concerns, thoughts, again, trade what you feel comfortable with. I would warn folks again, I would stick to Megatech. To me, it has the most downside. Upside would probably be material names that have been beaten. Those probably have the most upside. If money flows, if money does not flow, maybe at some point it does go into the TLT. Maybe it does go into the dollar. Who the hell knows? Near term. who really knows? Because again, I mean, why would you plow money into tech? You're welcome, Shannon. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. It's like tech hates higher interest rates. Literally hates. Hate is a strong word. Hate, 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 hate. Play a haters ball. Right? Play a haters ball. If you watch the Dave Chappelle show. Sorry I'm a little late. How to fill up Big Nasty's mama's water bowl. If y'all remember that, I can do the voices of those guys too. Buck Nasty, your mama's so fat. I can't remember all the jokes, but he's got like that deep tone of confidence. Pimp. Remember, he's a pimp. Boy, if you buy and go long some of these names, I will slap the shit out of you. Well, ID Doc, one of your weaknesses is you cut winners early and not ride them enough until they hit their targets. Well, again, riding things to targets. When do we trade targets perfectly? Like again, they're nice, and then you trade around your core. But again, you only go long. So again, in this market, you should be cutting your winners early if you're going long, because there's not probably much upside potentially. You got to be careful with that. That's just what's obvious to me. Like the only trades that I feel like you should be holding is like as you layer into shorts, trade around them. But you always have to trade around your positions. That's the thing. Like if you're betting on certainty, you're certainly going to get destroyed at some point. You're certainly going to have a problem. You're certainly going to make mistakes. The market's going to do what you don't expect it to. And capital is opportunity. Opportunity is capital. It's always that way. And so, man, there's been many a times where, yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, that's always the game. But if the trend is down, in your opinion, and the QQQs are broken, I don't need to sit here and think about what today and what's going to be tomorrow with heavy amounts of pensiveness. Just any bounce. I mean, if we see 355, drop the nuclear bomb on this thing, in my opinion. Maybe we don't get it. Maybe this is all it's got because, again, it has been targeting probably the 200-day, maybe this 0.382. I don't know. Near term, it's really hard to know. Yeah, but like cry me a river. Who hasn't bought a stock and not held it all the way through? I mean, I am very reluctant to continue to hold stocks because it's the same thing. If they go up huge, they don't all look like NVIDIA. There's probably going to be something else that you could have traded that capital with. So again, if you want to buy in a bull market, great, trade around it. But I mean, to say that buying and holding forever during the last year, I mean, that's just tough. I mean, you're playing with fire. You're playing with fire. The market got very overheated because of AI. And as much as we were wrong, like what are the odds of believing that the AI was going to cause a whole shift in the market near term just to rip it higher, almost to new highs? It looks very reminiscent of 1973. I said, check Ned Davis research, please, for the love of God. Look at very similar. A nice pop that turned into a big flop. And we didn't bottom until end of 1974. Years ending in 3, had to end badly. We'll see. When did it have a rally? What month? Yeah, there was a bottom in November. We'll see. Maybe we get a bottom in November. Maybe we don't. I don't know. Don't know. I will say, though, that tech does not look pretty to me. This does not look enough pukish to me. Not even down 0.382. And I don't know why we wouldn't get back down to the 300 level at some point. At some point. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap her up. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. What is it, 10? Yeah, it's probably 10. I got some things I got to do. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.